Double honors to the elders and apostles of Jerusalem who well shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm gonna start with the scripture, Matthew 24:4. And Yahushai answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Now, as the Lord said, is the beginning of sorrows, and Israelites are going to be hated, for his name's sake. And you can see through this little members of Israel United in Christ, that's a most high blessed Christ. They gathered outside the Barclays Center, and this is the Lord's name going out, and it's really making these people hate the Israelites and hate Jake. Because I saw one thing with what's his name? That black guy. Uh, is it Tim's? No, not Tim. I can't remember. He's not important. But basically, it was a video by one of the elders, and they were talking about how Kyrie Irving, and he kept saying that his owners, and that's really like, all he said was Jake are the real Israelites are the real Jews. He didn't even say that, to be honest. He just, well, he did say that, but he put a link in for the video. He didn't really get into it like that, and they're hating him to the point where this guy is completely backtracked. He's completely lost his spine, and he's donating money to a friggin' mosque, man. And one thing I always thought, how much I hate, the religion of Islam, man. It just, because even I go to this shop, and this guy makes grilled chicken, and he's Muslim, and there was like riots in in the UK in Croydon. It was about 10 years ago. When somebody died. Yeah, I think it was Doug, and he died, and there was riots, and he was talking about how he went there and he grabbed a TV and all of that stuff, and how if something happens now, he'll grab some stuff. And I was like, yo, I was there, and I might have done whatever I may have done then, but I didn't believe in the Lord then. If it was to happen now, I wouldn't go out rioting and stealing from people. And he was like, so then why did you do it then? And I said, because I didn't believe in the Lord. And I just looked at him. See, these people, they claim they believe in the Lord, but they act like reprobates. You're a so-called Muslim man, and I know for a fact he believed it then, because he's older than me. You believe in the Lord, and yet you always talk about, if he's a cool guy. I don't hate him, but it's just like he be talking about the Lord, and he'll say, right, if there was a riot, he'd go and he'll take this, and he'll take the TV, and he'll do this, and he'll do that. And I'm like, a lot of these Muslim people, they don't really believe in the Lord, man. Because they think it's okay to smoke and all of this stuff, just going off. And all of this stuff is really gonna make people hate Jake, because they're gonna be looking at Jake like, you think you're better than us, and hey, that's how the Lord set it up. He said Jake is the apple of his eye, and Jake is above all nations, and you can see that it's gonna be nation against nation, like the scriptures say, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And this is the beginning of it. It says right here, Chinese people are angry. The World Cup showed them masks aren't needed in the world. So these people are just cutting it on that, the world aren't really wearing masks, and they're rioting, especially over that Samsung and the Apple thing, because these people are being exploited for profit. I'll just play a little bit
In China, affecting manufacturers, including Foxconn, Apple's largest iPhone supplier. Its Zhengzhou plant is the world's largest iPhone factory, employing more than 200,000 workers. Massive protests broke out here on the night of November 22nd and lasted until November 23rd, with fierce standoffs between workers and police who used tear gas on the protesters.
Yeah, I can't play all of it, but yeah, you understand. And everywhere, there's just uproars of the people. Let's play this little thing. It says a London firefighter quit over racist abuse. And these people been racist, man. You read some of the comments, they'll be like, "Oh my God, this racism, they're overblowing it." Come on, man. Jake be dealing with racism, and it's not overt racism. People think racism is them calling you a nigger. Sometimes racism is making you do more work than your white colleague. And they want to work you like a dog, and you're like, why am I being given more work than anybody else? You know what I mean? So these people think racism is just one thing. Your what's it? Last hired, first fired. All of this other stuff. These people just don't understand. Even the place I was working at before, there was a man who was working there. So it was a cool dude. Reggie was like, they always give the black guys the worst routes. They gave me some route where I'm supposed to. They basically say when you finish, you can go home early. So I'm rushing to finish and go home early, and they're like, "You're finishing too fast," and they just start adding more and more on. So now I'm not rushing anymore. I'm taking my time, and they're like, "Oh well, you know, they're basically looking at me like, well, you're not working as hard." These times, the round's been the same way for years. It's just I know they was finishing early and they was chilling. To be honest, it was my fault, because I was finishing early and people was like, "Don't go back early," and I was like, "Man, I ain't got time to just sit on the road and just not doing nothing." But then when you go back early, they're seeing, "Oh, you know what? You can finish early." They just start adding more and more and more. These times it was already a heavy round. It just so happened that I'm quote unquote youngish. I'm energetic, so I'm not sitting there like some fat little idiot, going slow. I'm just boom, 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 boom. And they just start adding more and more, but they don't do this to their own people, and I told them it's too much, and somebody else even went and did it, and they was like, it's too much. This there's like for you to do it, you have to not take any breaks, and then you're going over the time. And it's like they still weren't listening because it's just in Esau's spirit to hate you, you know. And I can go into plenty of examples of Esau, just hating Jake and doing certain things, But it's in their spirit. Where Jake and Esau have been fighting from the womb, so we're never gonna get along, because these people aren't righteous. It's not in their spirit to be righteous.
Service with lurid examples of sexism, racism, and bullying. While speaking to Sky News today, the commissioner of the UK's biggest fire brigade apologised. We've also heard from firefighters who are sceptical about the promises of change.
These people been
a warning
there.
that Martin Brandt's report includes one former firefighter describing the...
See, what they like to do is when these reports come out, they'll be like, "Oh my God, it's bad, we need to change." These people been knew that they're racist, man. These people been new. These people been new. You know what I mean? Like, even the first time I interacted with we like over here we call the police Jakes, But yeah, the first time I got stopped by the police, I was like 15. I was walking on the road. They said I wrote some anti-Semitic stuff on a Jewish mosque. Obviously, I didn't do that. Stopped me. I didn't even know what Jews were. You know what I mean? Stopped me, beat me up in the back of the vehicle. Arrested me. These times I didn't even do nothing. I weren't supposed to be out because I was like 15, out at 11 o'clock at night. It's a bit rebellious. I was like doing the whole running away from home skit, but that doesn't give you the right to come and whoop my ass for something I didn't even do. And I didn't even get an apology. They weren't even like, "Sorry for arresting you." You know what I mean? So it's in their spirit to hate you. And then you talk to these people and they'll be like, "Oh well, one rotten egg doesn't spoil the whatever." And yeah, it is, because if you mix up a bunch of eggs and you got one rotten egg in it and you mix that up in it, now all of it's rotten. So these people aren't righteous, man. They're a bunch of demons.
Racist abuse that was directed at him, which some people may find offensive.
Firefighter Gareth Dawes suffered racism in different forms, sometimes direct.
There was an argument that occurred, and I went in to split with the argument, and I was called a black in that moment.
By a colleague?
By a colleague, a serving colleague from a different watch. And the onus was put on me as to whether I wanted to do anything about it when we returned to station.
No. He may be a tear, who knows? He may not be. I don't know, but, people really just judge by appearance, and that's what it is. But they called him a black bastard, and they're like, "Do you want to do anything about it?" Instead of them saying, "This guy, he's done this, we're gonna discipline him," they've asked him, do you wanna do anything about it? You know, like you can get punched by a quote unquote so-called white person, and instead of arresting him straight away like they would do if it was a Drake doing that to a so-called white person, they'd be like, "Do you want to press charges?" These people are foul, man, and they sit there and they're all interested, but I don't care.
He offered to help tackle racism. His bosses encouraged him, he said, but they simply didn't understand the problem.
Yeah, you don't understand the I can't even. And this is another one. This is in the US. You have a civil war. Go ahead and wipe them off the fucking map. This is what's in This is what is in Esau's spirit, man. and through the spirit, they know things are gonna get bad. Whenever I say to Esau, that this place is collapsing, it's like they feel kind of condemned in the spirit, because they feel like that the houses are gonna last forever.
Have a civil war, go ahead and wipe them on the map. That'll put them back about 4 or 5 generations. Because, and then you know what? The good ones can go live in their little communities and they can do what they want to do. Just stay out of my way.
That's former Wilmington police officer Kevin Piner talking with another former officer, Jesse Moore. The conversation was recorded on a police cruiser camera, which was accidentally activated.
But if we do not get a handle on this, we are not going to have a country for our kids to be raised in.
In the days before, police and protesters clashed in Wilmington following national calls to end police brutality after the murder of George Floyd, a black man in Minneapolis.
You told me tonight, you said, all right, tomorrow's a purge day, get as many as you want. Do not go down there. I'd go down there and slaughter them motherfuckers.
The recordings were not only created by chance.
And good, because we feel the same way. The only difference between, Jake and the Edomite is Jake waiting on the Lord to do it righteously. Esau does it on the left-hand side. He'll just go and bother you for no reason at all, through the spirit, we understand that you are your great-grandparents or great-grandfathers, you're your forefathers coming back. So you're in that same spirit of killing Jake, for no reason at all. So we have a reason to have a beef with you. You don't have a reason to have a beef with Jake. You sold your birthright and now you're mad, so you go around trying to claim your birthright back, and you feel like the Lord has been mean to you, but the Lord has given you the fat of the earth, and all you've done is just create, chaos in the earth, and yet you somehow feel like you should rule, to the point where even the Lord said if he doesn't come back, there'll be no life left, because you're just deaf. You're deaf on 2 feet,
Also discovered by chance when a super.
It was discovered by chance, and how many situations do you have of police officers speaking like that, and they probably see it, they don't even bring it to the forefront, they probably just wipe it off the map. These people know who they are, they know who we are. Through the spirit, they know we're adverse to each other, man. It's like water and oil don't mix, and these people are oil, man. The rotten kind, the useless kind, the sludge that you dash down the drain, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Lord to come back. And even just this little thing here, this so-called Moabite, talking about the black dollar. So these people actually know how much power we have in this society, but through the spirit, the Lord is not gonna allow Jake to exert any authority in the society. There's lots of things that Jake can do. Jake can stop buying Nikes and Adidas and stop supporting these racist companies, but Jake ain't gonna do that because Jake loves Nikes. Jake loves the Nike footsies, the Adidas spirit is, the Adidas demon, the Nike demon is heavy on Jake. You want to impress these women because these women will look at your foot, and based on what you have on your feet, they want to take you to bed because, our people are completely destroyed. You being somebody in this Edomite system, or you having something that these Edomites have created, puts you in high esteem with our people. That's how much we hate ourselves. I don't even buy Nikes, man. And after I realized what Adidas been doing with that whole Kanye thing, I'm not buying another pair of Adidas ever again. I might just start wearing Vans. I've been wearing Reeboks, but if I hear something bad about them, I'm probably gonna stop wearing them as well. You know what I mean? I got some pairs right now. I'm gonna wear them until they run out, and after that, I ain't buying nothing from Adidas ever again, man. Fuck them.
Of what you're saying. So check this out.
This response here is something I said about black power and black influence, okay? I'm going to give you one simple example how powerful the black community in America is. Just retail spending power. That coin, that money is power. Now look at this. Right here on top of Google, the African American population, yes, historically held an extremely powerful position in the retail marketplace, excuse me. Look at this. You guys, the black community, known to drive trends across food,
Yeah, because Jake is
beauty,
the salt of the earth.
media, and more. Okay, this is just
The
one
salt of the
aspect of
earth.
black power. Look at this.
The influence will
The
continue
reach,
to grow.
projected reach by 2024 is 1.8 trillion. That's a
See, this is all trying to suck you back in that spirit of mirth and wanting this place to continue. I don't care about none of that stuff, man. I want Esau to go down into the dung like where he should be, because he's a reprobate man, and if left to his own devices, he's gonna destroy this whole place. And a lot of people think, speaking power into this place continuing is gonna make this place continue. The Lord said it's gonna fall, and it's gonna fall, and we see it. Deuteronomy chapter 13, damn Edomites. This is verse 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods. And what's that other god? That American dollar, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your power proveth you to know whether ye love the Lord your power with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall walk after the Lord your power, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him and cleave unto him. See, I even had a dream, like, I keep having dreams of, doing this and doing that, setting up businesses and doing this and doing that, and I think to myself, because right now I'm in a lower state, but I don't really want to put my energy into that. I'd rather put it into, reading, watching the videos and praying and hoping the Lord come back, because at the end of the day, it's a bag of holes. I don't want nothing here. I don't want none of this cankered gold where moth and dust, is going to eat it up. Verse 5, and that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from the Lord your power, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy power commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee. So, these little Israelite groups are talking about, we should buy land and we should do this and set up a kingdom on this side of things. They're going off. They're leading Jake astray. They really should be put to death. But, Jake is in his governance right now. So there's certain things that, through the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, you really should be allowed to do, but you can't. If somebody rapes a woman or somebody kills a person, you really are supposed to put that person to death, but you can't do that here. But these people, they go and do the same thing they say you can't do, because they'll go to somebody else's country, they'll kill, they'll rape, they'll steal from them, but then they'll turn around and say you can't do it. This is the hypocrisy of these Edomites, man. They're just complete reprobates. They're complete hypocrites. They don't like the truth, and when you tell the truth, they make it seem that they make you an offender for the word. Let's get that quick. Because this is that spirit that Esau's in. When you speak righteously, that they really condemn you for speaking the truth, because you're speaking against them, because everything that they've built is based on lies. I'm gonna start 18. Isaiah 29:18. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. The meek also shall increase their joy in the Lord, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. for the terrible one is brought to naught. And in that day, you know, Esau is that terrible one, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. See, this is the spirit that Esau's in. You look at his laws, like they'll make it illegal. This is how wicked it is. Esau will make it illegal for you to try and contact, you know, the mother of your child. They'll make it illegal for you to actually contact the mother of your child. You know, obviously, they're not able to do that unless the mother of your child is a complete demon, but they'll arrest you for it. You know, there's plenty of stuff online about it. You know, it's I was recently looking into it. Something called a non-molestation order. You know, if your demon is a real demon and loves Esau and goes to Esau, they can make up all kinds of lies, and they don't fact check it. And if it turns out that they are lying, they're not gonna do to them what is supposed to be done to you, or what was supposed to be done to you. You know, and you know, through the law, that's what happened. If you accuse somebody and you wrongfully accuse them, you were supposed to reap the punishment that they sought unto you. And you really couldn't find somebody guilty of an offense unless you had two witnesses. But in this society, you know, you can make up a lie, and another person can make up a lie, and they'll find you guilty of that. But you need two witnesses, so 3 people all together. You know, this society, it can be one man's word against the other, and Esau will just pick whoever, you know, whoever his spirit kind of leans towards, and if he don't like you, he's just gonna go towards, you know, whatever's convenient for him to discipline you, you know, because he's a respecter of persons, and he doesn't do righteous judgment because they're demons. All of them are demons, you know. And all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai that this thing is almost over, man. I don't want to be here another 2 years, man. I hope these world wars starts. I hope, you know, these civil wars start. You know, I'm waiting. I'm gonna be sitting there watching out my window, watching these people kill each other, and I ain't gonna do nothing. I ain't gonna lift a damn finger. You know, these people are gonna do it. They're gonna destroy themselves, man. You know, it's like a smoldering fire. You just gotta watch it just burn itself out. You know, but hey, it is what it is, man. All praises to the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Jemus who will well. Shalom to the elect.